Hi, I'm Colin. Welcome to Learnsomatics. In this video, I'm going to address gluteal amnesia. This is often thought to be a case of where you can't feel the glute muscles, they're not firing properly, you don't have a good connection to them. So I'm going to show you a brief sequence of somatic movements to help you re-establish good control over your glute muscles, be able to relax them, be able to contract them, and have them feel more comfortable generally. This is really going to help you improve your comfort of your back, your hips, and also make walking and moving feel much more free also. So we're going to begin on our front for this sequence. So let's change positions now. So this is our start position. You can have your hands just either side of your head like so, head resting down. And if you're going to do your left glute, your left buttock, you're going to have your head turned to the right. That's how I'm set up right now. So first thing we're going to be doing is just very simply, we're going to lift the left leg a little into the air like so. And just hold it there and take your left hand. If you feel your buttock, you'll feel that when you lift the leg like this, your buttock, your glutes have to contract quite strongly. So this movement allows us to get a good deliberate contraction of our glutes, and then we can very slowly let the leg come on back down to rest. Now if you take your hand again and feel it, you'll feel your buttock has softened up because it's no longer lifting the leg. All right, so let's repeat that a couple of times. Just lifting the leg in its entirety into the air. And make sure you can feel your buttock. And if you need to intentionally squeeze your buttock a bit to feel it, that's fine. And then just slowly let it come on down. Like so. And we're going to do that 2 more times, and we're just going to add a very minor lift of the head. So lift the leg, lift the head, like so. Again, you can give your butt a squeeze, so that's very clear that you're using your glutes, as well as your back and your hamstrings. And then slowly come on down, nice and slow. Completely relax. Let's do that just 1 more time. Lifting the head and lifting the leg. So we're using the entire back of the body, and we're getting a nice deliberate squeeze on our glute. And more importantly, we're getting it nice and relaxed as we come down slow and smooth. Like so. Okay, so we're already starting to get a better mind-muscle connection or awareness of our glute. The next thing we're going to do is change this slightly. We're going to bend the leg like so. And you're going to arrange your foot like this so the sole of your foot is pointing at the ceiling. And now with the leg in this bent position, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to imagine you're trying to touch the sole of your foot off the ceiling. You're just going to lift it like so. And again, just lift whatever's comfortable. You're going to feel this quite strongly in your buttocks and glute again. And then slowly come on back down to rest. But keep the leg bent. So now we're extending the hip, but with the knee joint bent. We're still getting the hip and glute again. And let's repeat that. Trying to touch the sole, trying to put a footprint on the ceiling. Like so. And then slowly come on down. Again, lifting up. Lifting the sole of the foot to the ceiling. You can use this hand, you can feel, yep, very strong contraction in the buttock and the glutes. And from here I can come on down nice and slow. Keep the leg bent. And let's just do 2 where we add a little lift of the head again. Like so. And this may make you lift the leg a little less, that's fine. The goal here is to be able to feel our buttocks contracting and then relaxing those glutes. And again. As long as you go slow and take your time, you should have no problems. Come on down nice and easy and smooth as you can. Okay, and let the leg be straight now. So we've addressed hip extension there. Now let's lie on our back and see how that feels. So once you're back out on your back, compare the feeling of the buttock on the side of the leg you were lifting to the other one. And if you've done that slowly and carefully, you should feel quite a marked difference in how they rest on the ground. The leg you were lifting, that side, the buttock should feel pretty soft and relaxed, and you may even feel like your pelvis is a little tipped towards the side you were working. And you'll feel some difference down into the leg also. So let's continue now with a couple of more movements in the supine position. So for this, we're going to have the working leg bent like so. So we're still doing the same leg, in this case the left. And you want your knee bent and your foot pretty close to your bum and in line with your hip. So not out, not in, just about in line. Okay. And from here, all we're going to do is we're going to press down into our foot so that our hip starts to come up off the floor. And let your knee travel straight forward or toward over your toes. And the more you press down through your foot, the more you engage your hip. And again, you can use this free hand. You'll be able to feel your buttock very strongly contracted. And then you can slowly let the bum come down to the floor again. You're just relaxing that effort. So we're really just doing the same thing we were doing on our front, but on our back. See, it feels slightly different now because we're pressing into the floor with the foot and the hip is going up into the air. Let's repeat that a couple of times. Pressing straight down through the foot, the hip lifts up. Use your free hand. You can squeeze your bum so you get a nice clear sense of using your glutes. And then slowly come on back to rest. And you'll notice I'm keeping my head straight and my knee is traveling straight as well. So there's no real twist on this, only there's a slight little tip of the pelvis. Let's do 2 more of those. Pressing down. You may even feel your opposite side hip coming up off the floor a little bit, that's fine. We're just getting a nice clean contraction of our hip, our glutes, and then slowly coming back down. Deliberate contractions, deliberate relaxations, getting good control. The smoother the descent, the better the release is going to be. Last time in this position, pressing down through the foot, the hip lifts up. Make sure that you can feel your glute is contracted. And then slowly let it relax as the hip comes back down, all the way to rest. Okay, for the final part of this, we're going to bring the foot outward a little bit, out to the side somewhat, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to press down through the foot, but because the foot is wider now, it's going to kind of make us roll a little over. And let your head turn towards the side you're working, and keep your knee, don't let your knee collapse in, keep your knee out, so that when you press through the foot, you'll feel it a bit more on the outside of your glutes. So you're taking in somewhat the external rotators as well. And then slowly relax back to rest. The head comes back to middle, the hip comes down. And we'll do that about 4 times. Pressing through the foot, letting the head turn towards the working side. Make sure you can feel tension in the hip at this point. You can give it a little squeeze so you're very clear on it. And then you can slowly let it relax back to the floor. Just pandiculating the hip. And again, press down. Hip lifts up. Head turns. So you're also getting a little bit into your back and neck even with the head turn. Keep the pressure through the heel, the entire foot, but a little more through the heel, as that enables you to engage your glutes a bit more. And then slowly relax. Okay, and we'll do that just one last time. Pressing down through the foot, a little emphasis on the heel. Hip rolls up, knee stays out, head turns toward the working side. And then slowly relaxing back down to rest. Okay, from there you can straighten your leg out and see what you've got. So just take a moment to compare the side you've been working with to the side that you haven't been working with yet. And if you've done that correctly, you should feel quite different down that side. All right, and then just to finish this, something a little more integrative, you can bend the leg, let it be slightly out to the side, and just gently tip the knee in and tip the knee out a couple of times, rolling onto the inside and outside edge of your foot. We've been doing quite a bit of hip extension there, so I just want to speak a little bit to the internal and external rotation aspects of the hip. Just go back and forth a couple of times. All right, and you can lay out flat and see how that feels. If you've done that correctly, that should feel quite different down that side you've been working. The bum should feel flatter on the floor, and you may get a sense of that whole side leg feeling longer. That's exactly what I'm experiencing now. this leg feels about 6 inches longer than the other one. You know, of course it isn't, but because you've released it, you'll perceive it that way. So I want you to get up now and have a walk around and see how it feels through the side you've worked with as compared to the side that you didn't work through yet. Then when you've done that, you can come back, replay the video, do the second side so everything's nice and even. Hope you found that useful. If you are finding the videos useful, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.